Islam's never fought anybody as long and tall as I am, let alone someone who moves the way I move. He doesn't have a chance against me on the feet, and I need to see him unconscious. There's no excuses when I beat him. Shadow Garry is the best fighter in the world, and that's it.
Everybody say before the fight, I'm gonna knock him out, I'm gonna finish Islam, I'm gonna stop his wrestling, but it's not working. I'm gonna do whatever I want and finish him. So I'm the best fighter in the world, and I'm gonna show it in Philadelphia. To make the fight easy, we have to training hard every day.
Use your range. Use your range. Range.
Who can beat us, who training more than us. But no one training more than us.
Nice, Usman. Very nice, Usman.
I'm not just grappler. I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm gonna use all my skills.
Ian Garry believes Islam Makhachev has never faced someone as tall, long, fast, and mobile as him. Garry says he can beat Islam on the feet and plans to show that he is the better fighter. He also believes his movement, striking, and takedown defense can stop Islam from controlling the fight. Islam Makhachev is just as confident. He says nobody trains harder than his team and promises to use every skill he has. Islam wants to prove he is not only a grappler, but a complete MMA fighter who can win anywhere.
I respect Islam as much as I know how good he is and I know how talented he is. I know that I can beat him if I go out there and do what I believe I can.
Garry is so confident that he even showed Eddie Hearn his old Cage Warriors title belt. Above it was an empty frame with a message saying his UFC World Championship is coming soon. Garry clearly believes that frame will soon hold the UFC title after beating Islam.
To make the fight easy, we have to training hard every day.
Use your range. Use your range. Range.
Who can beat us, who training more than us. But no one training more than us.
Nice, Usman. Very nice, Usman.
I'm not just grappler. I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm gonna use all my skills.
I got this made a while ago, and I feel like this is something me and you would like. So, that is my Cage Warriors world title that I won in July 2019. And above it, when I got that one framed, I made this frame as well.
You love it.
It's an empty frame that says UFC World.
Islam's coach, Javier Mendez, says Islam is a complete fighter who can control every part of an MMA fight. He says this is not simply a striker versus grappler matchup. Islam can choose where the fight happens and how he wants to win. Meanwhile, Garry is working hard on his striking, speed, movement, and combinations. Analyst Craig Jones is also helping him prepare for Islam's wrestling. Jones is teaching Garry an inside foot hook inspired by BJ Penn. The idea is to help Garry keep his distance, frame against Islam, and stop him from getting close enough to control his hips. Jones also points to Dustin Poirier's success in forcing Islam to stay low on a single leg attempt. If Islam cannot get his preferred position, Garry may have chances to attack the ankle and turn Islam's pressure against him.
You got Islam, who's, compared to all of them, he's the total package. He was beautiful to train. I mean, he's the easiest champion I've ever had to deal with. He can do it all. That's what people are missing.
You guys ready? Okay, let's go.
It's not a grappler versus a striker. It's a total MMA fighter fighting.
Nice, Usman.
And we just decide how he's going to fight, how he's going to...
Luke Thomas still favors Islam Makhachev to win, mainly because beating the pound-for-pound best fighter is extremely difficult. However, Thomas believes Garry could be one of Islam's toughest challenges at welterweight. Thomas praises Garry's footwork, distance control, speed, and takedown defense. He also points out that Garry has already shown he can be difficult to take down and difficult to hit cleanly. Because of that, Islam may have to work much harder than usual to control him. So how can Garry actually beat Islam?
Play the clubbing collar like Islam does. GSP would do it. GSP would do it effectively till he came into BJ Penn. And the reason I think Ian Garry's going to have some problems for Islam is because he does that BJ Penn hook, which again is a rare problem to encounter. As he hikes it up, we can maintain our space here. It's really, really difficult to deal with, especially if we can push the head here, because I can frame both my forearm and my leg. So if I'm ready to reach the other leg, whether it be with his foot or his hand. Sometimes we can even slip because we don't have wrestling boots and stay square. Whereas a traditional slip, when we get over, we'll expose our back. So again, I think it's going to be interesting. He and Garry probably going to get taken down, but if we see this exchange, I'm really interested to see what happens. Can Islam do his regular hike up, club, foot sweep, or will he in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu takedown defense? Elite here, elite understanding of the game. We're going to add one more technique. I'm going to add this because Dustin Poirier did really, really good against Islam. And I think it was because he forced Islam to stay low on the single. Like Islam wants to get as close to the hip as possible. And Poirier would be always moving backwards like this. And Islam, obviously, fucking genius. He adjusted on the fly. What happened was he ended up getting down to the ankle here. And a lot of people know this, obviously for a wrestling technique, where you bring the foot to the floor and I drag Freddie and he goes launching. Sometimes I can fucking fly into the air. Sometimes you get to the back. But what I think could play a factor in this is if we get to this position here and he can feel that this club's not going to work. And if Ian Garry is sneaking a finger in the glove the Dagestani way, he could drop back into this ankle here and hit the same thing he hit against Poirier. And what he did good.
Thomas believes Garry must make his takedown defense perfect. If Islam gets him down, Garry must quickly scramble back to his feet. Everything starts with distance management, keeping his back away from the cage, using his jab, and constantly moving. Garry needs to use his longer weapons, touch Islam, move away, and make Islam chase him. He must control the space inside the cage and avoid giving Islam the grips he needs to start his wrestling attacks. But even with all these advantages, Thomas still believes Islam's pressure and wrestling will eventually be too much over 5 rounds. That makes UFC 330 a fascinating battle between two very different game plans.
Like his best win doesn't compare at all to the other guy's best win, so there seems like this vast difference. And what I would say is I've said this before a million times, the hardest thing to do in MMA is to win a UFC title and then stand a post and defend it against the most deserving contender. Because it is not the guy with the most celebrity. It's not moving up the weight class to fight the other champ. It's the guy who is hungry as shit, who is on his climb. And if they're the number one contender, that means they've, earned the spot to be there. And they're going to fight like rabid dogs the whole night, or as long as they're able to. Now, I don't mean that, it's going to be an action-oriented affair. It could be very defensive, as a matter of fact. But I mean, in terms of my screen here, hold on. In terms of Jesus, no.
What's going on?
My screen just kind of flashed something. I don't know what that was. Yeah, but in terms of just being a really complicated test. Yeah, he probably is. Yeah.
Do you reckon it's between him and Morales? Probably. I mean, Shavkat
Morales is a beast, but he's not his defense is not as refined as Ian's. I mean, again, I'm going to say Ian's footwork is very good. His distance management is very good. He's got a very good series of lancing attacks. His takedown defense is excellent. Shavkat didn't get him down until like the 4th or the 5th. And even then, yes, he did get him down. And so I think this will be kind of interesting to see what kind of takedowns he uses. If you guys recall, Rakhmonov was only doing upper body stuff and couldn't get any of it to work. And then eventually mixed lower to upper. So he had like a knee tap. He had a single leg that he used to a knee tap, and he finally got him over. So like he was able to get it done, but it took a really long time. And I know Shavkat was injured. So this is what I mean. Like maybe Makhachev goes in there and like bosses him around. It's hard to say. That was almost 2 years ago too, the fight between Rakhmonov and a year and a half anyway, between Rakhmonov and Garry. But I just think Gary's defensiveness, dude, he's hard to take down. He's hard to land on. He's got great footwork, great distance management. He's quicker of the two. He's hungry.
Ian Garry wants to win with speed, range, movement, and takedown defense. Islam Makhachev wants to use every weapon in his game and prove once again why he is considered one of the best fighters in the world.
Let me ask you this then. If you're Ian Garry, how do you beat Islam Makhachev?
On the ground, there's just no question Islam is going to be way better. So to me, you need to have takedown defense on point, and if you get taken down, you have to have an ability to scramble to your feet or do wrestling get-ups, or because against Rakhmonov, you'll recall, he just kind of relented. He would fight the takedown, but then once you got the takedown, he didn't really fight it. And so, and at least not much. And so to me, I wonder about that. Like, I think that could be really bad for him. But all of that starts with, takedown defense. And then all of that kind of starts with, distance management, keeping your back off the fence, footwork, jab. Honestly, I really believe, like, people are like, oh, can you really win with footwork and a jab? Well, no, but footwork and a jab and good takedown defense has been like what Sean Strickland does. You know what I mean? That's how he wins. What is he winning with? Punishing ground and pound? Like, that's not how he wins. It can be done. So to me, it's long range weapons. It is takedown defense. It is managing of not just the distance between himself and Islam, but the distance between his back and the cage, space in the octagon. And I think you're going to have to lead Islam into traps through your movement, right? If you can touch him and then go, and now you're off at an angle and he has to follow in that space to follow, bop, bop, you got to be opening up on him. And again, dude, you might be saying, oh, okay, but can you really do this to Islam Makhachev? I have the exact same questions. Like, it's just hard to see. But I think if there's any winnable path, it's managing real estate, managing distance, being first and third when you need to be, footwork and range. That's going to be everything. Because if Islam can get his hands on you and can consistently make grips, that seems like it could be a problem. And Islam's got good striking too, but I don't think he's going to have the same ability, the same speed and the same snap and the same movement. You got to use
The big question is simple. Can Ian Garry stop Islam's pressure for 5 rounds? Or will Islam drag him into deep waters and prove why he remains the man to beat? Only one fighter can leave Philadelphia as champion. If you're excited for Makhachev versus Garry, smash the like button, share this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more UFC breakdowns, predictions, and fight updates.